Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope that everybody's doing good out there, having a good weekend, smelling good, smelling great. How's everybody been doing? I know that I'm on here a little bit late, just a tad bit. Honestly, I had to go grab something, a little bit of something to eat. I've been on Twitch and doing all kinds of stuff. I actually haven't spent any time for myself, so I just had to rush. So sorry I'm on here a little bit late, but I hope that y'all doing good. What fragrances have y'all been getting into? What smells have you been experiencing? I'm curious to know. It's been a little. It was not the hottest day today. It was a little bit rainy, but it is still fairly warm. But I did sneak a couple sprays of my Gourmand. I wore my scent of the day is 24 Gold Oud Edition from the strong fragrance, very sweet, great performance. I highly recommend it. It's a great one. It's a really good fragrance. I feel like it's really underrated. It is a little. It's not. I wouldn't say it's animalic, but it does have a little extra oomph, a little bit of extra sensuality from the oud. That's for sure. So, anyways, waiting for some people to pop in here today. I hope that everybody's been having a good weekend, smelling great. I'd be really curious to know what y'all have been keeping tabs or been paying attention to my Instagram. But I have a review of Guerlain Homme, if I can say it, Guerlain Le Homme Intense, the EDP, the smoky cherry one. I forget if I told y'all about that last time. I have a review of that one coming, and I have a couple reviews of a couple fragrances. I have what was that fragrance called? It was Bentley. Bentley Momentum Intense, I think it was. There's the regular Bentley. Let me double check here to make sure I'm saying that right. The Momentum. There's two different ones. Yeah, there's the Momentum Intense and there's the Momentum Unlimited. I got a bottle of Momentum Unlimited. I haven't seen everybody review that fragrance, and I took a risk, a blind buy of it. I'm fairly happy with it. That's a good cheapie. We'll definitely talk about that one. Hey there, Gam. Good to see you, Gamiel. Hey, bud, how you been doing? I'm doing good. It's been a pretty good a week so far. Lots of work, staying really busy, trying to get life in order, things in order, make life happen, and of course, smelling good while we do all of that. But how have you been doing? I've been doing pretty good over here. I can't complain too much. I can't. So it's been not. I mean, it's not. Not everything's not peaches and cream. It's a little better. So. Anyways, Gam, good to see you. What fragrance? What's your scent of the day? Again, for me, it's 24 Gold Oud Edition from Scent Story. I went really easy on the trigger. It's a very strong fragrance. I put on like 2 sprays. I went on like 2, just 2 little sprays, little bitty sprays, and it's still kicking. It's still strong. And by the way, I'm not criticizing other fragrance reviewers, and I do want to make another video dedicated to how to apply fragrance. I think I may need to make another one. At first, when I started YouTubing, I thought it would be actually really dumb and counterproductive to make videos on the same topic. But if you have people who are interested in it, and actually if it's valuable to you and you're still trying to get the word out, it's actually not a bad idea. So I might do that again. I saw somebody talk about how a fragrance was coined. They said they put on 10 sprays. That might be too much, especially for a fragrance that does perform fairly well. Even if it's a decent or average strength fragrance, that's not bad. Do whatever the heck you want, but that might be a lot. It depends on what environment you're in. If you're going to be indoors around other people, even that might be too much. But the problem was that they were choking themselves out, and I saw that they had sprayed their fragrance all on their chest. And I made a video about that. I don't know if everybody saw that, but you really should be putting fragrance on your arms. You could even put them on the sides of your neck, depending on what you're going for, if you're going on a date and all that stuff. But the thing is, there's cultures, and some people put fragrances actually on like their legs and stuff. If you put fragrances on your chest, it makes it evaporate really quickly. That's the hottest part of your body, and it's forcing all that fragrance directly into your nose. It's making you go nose blind really quickly. And also, you get less reach. It sounds really funny, but the fragrance is going to have about a foot or less reach if you put it on your arm, especially with moving about and all that. You actually get more reach, a little bit extra, just physically, more than the fragrance can do itself. So I always put fragrance on my arms, and that's what I always recommend to other people. and I've that's really improved my fragrance game. Really helped me have a far better experience with fragrance, because before, even if it again was average, sometimes I went nose blind, and sometimes I didn't experience the fragrance through the day because I wasn't putting the fragrance straight on my chest. So that's just a little bit of experience for me. Of course, do whatever you want, but are there any other fragrance topics y'all want to talk about? Have there been anything on your mind, fragrance community wise? Have there been any changes or anything interesting to y'all? Again, I try to avoid drama. I haven't seen anything again drama wise to me. Again, it's still always on my mind, but again, I encourage people in the fragcom to find their own personality and their groove, and also be happy, not maybe trying to chase the numbers. Don't just become a top 10 fragrance reviewer. Put your personality out there. Have people, be excited to come back and see who you are as a person. And with fragrance, I guess that's kind of difficult because you have less material to work with. It's not like it's for example, if you were to review a movie or a video game or something, you'd have hours of content, multiple characters, multiple aspects. And with fragrance, you really only have like the history, maybe the perfumer, the fragrance, and how other people think about the fragrance. So there's less, I guess, content for you, especially physically for people to see, because again, fragrance is you smell it, of course. So anyways, everybody else who's here tonight, how are you doing? Are you want to dive straight into the new releases of this year? And please let me know on my fragrance channel, do you want to see me review more affordable fragrances, cheapies? Do you like good designers, or would you prefer niche? I try to have a balance of everything. I showed some high-end cheapras and some affordable fragrances recently. I might just have to, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to hit you with an indie. We'll have to see what my next review is all about. So, and let me know how often you want fragrance reviews. I've seen some fragrance reviewers, again, who started about the same time as I did or so. And they put out now they've only started putting out like a video. They don't, one guy in particular, I won't say who he is, but he hasn't even been putting out, he's put out like 2 videos a month, and his channel's actually growing really quickly. So I don't know what that's all about. I know that, in the old days of YouTube, hey there, Jay-Z, so good to see you today. What's your scent of the day, my friend? How's life treating you? In the old days, if you put content out there, content was king, and there's people wanted to see whatever you could make and whatever you could talk about. These days, it's not so much. It's, if you maybe wait a little bit longer and maybe starve people for content, maybe if you put out a fewer videos, more people are ready for your videos and wanting and looking forward to them. Maybe that's what pushes it up, because people pay more attention to it. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't give you like 1 video a week. I like to be consistent, but I've seen some people, and maybe I'm putting out too much. I don't know. Jay-Z says, scent of the day is Parfums de Marly Pegasus. Nice choice there. For me personally, it could be romantic depending on your personality, but I felt like it was a little bit confident, almost like a cold fragrance, almost for somebody who is a little bit stern. But it is nice. It does work. Haven't tried the new Pegasus Exclusive? Have you tried that one? My friend Jay-Z, which one do you think is better? I haven't seen too many comparison videos. I've seen a few, but that's still something I would like to do. Compare those 2 fragrances. So, anyways, let's see here. There's some new fragrance brands that have came out. One is called Katana Parfums. I don't know who would make their brand called Katana. You got to have a really good story to pull that off. It almost sounds cheesy just from the get-go. There's Athena fragrances. Again, some of these brands, I don't know where they're sold. There's Sevilla fragrances as well. So some new brands and companies are just pushing out not content, but pushing out fragrances. There's one called Paysage or Paysage. Yoji Yamato There's a couple new Caron. There's a rose one and a tuberose. They look more modern. They look like they're going to be designer-ish, maybe more trendy. I'm not sure if the both marketed towards women. They look kind of that way. I mean, there's a light blue one, but it's called tuberose or essentially tuberose, and not sure. It's probably unisex, but let me catch up with the comments. No new comments. Please jump in the comment section. Please say hello. Please feel free to make this a conversation, my friends. Anyways, that's what these lives are all about. So let's see here. There's a new. Is it new? I don't think it's new. I think it's just a review of Clive Christian X. There's a new. Supposedly Gucci behind their fragrance Flora Gorgeous Gardenia. Their Miley Cyrus is the new model or the face behind the fragrance. Quite interesting. We won't talk too much about it here. We don't get into politics, but did y'all see that they got rid of the Victoria's Secret angels? That's society's. I shouldn't say anything, but it's getting kind of crazy. Oh, society. Anyways, Jupe Wow Fresh. Are y'all excited about Jupe? Do y'all still buy Jupe? I know that they still make a couple fragrances here and there. There's a new fresh one that's coming out. Do y'all want to hear about that one? I might look at it and see if there's any notes. Tuberose Caron of Fragrantica looks good. Oh, that looks good to you. Are you excited about that? Caron is a house with a great history, and they were one of the first, if not one of the first fragrance, I don't know, big fragrance company, and that actually sold to the masses, if I remember right. And not Caron, maybe it was Cody. I might be getting the two mixed up. Anyways, this they look trendy, they look modern to me. So Jupe Wow Fresh actually has a picture of a jaguar with the fragrance in the mouth of a jaguar. I'm trying to see what notes are in the fragrance. I think it says bergamot, lavender, violet. It's a masculine fragrance. They're marketing it. It's geranium. It has aromatic cocktail, so maybe it's a little bit boozy. And they say that there's vanilla to it. So it sounds very modern and trendy. And sweet and fresh. That sounds nice. So I'm sure some people will love that. Let's see here. Are there any other fragrances that catch my attention? They're highlighting a brand called Bourdon. Not sure. Some new Kenzo fragrances. The Kenzo Homme. The bottles are shaped like bamboo, like segments of cut bamboo. Quite interesting. There's a review or some talk more about that Cartuja. I believe that's how you say it. Amare. I think that has to do something with love. Profumo de Amor, of love. Anyways, yeah, I knew that was going to get a little bit of talk. There's a new fragrance from Guy Fawkes called Preston. Let me double check with the comments. Let's see if we got any new comments. Let's see here. Oh, Fritz is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. What's popping? What's good? What's new? Good to see you, Fritz. My scent of the day is 24 Gold Oud Edition by Scent Story. I went light on the trigger, even though it's a little bit warm. It was a rainy day, and I'm really enjoying it. So Mugler's Angel Nova. Okay, people are still talking about those. I mean, there's some good flankers, especially for the ladies. There's some good ones there, that's for sure. There's a new Memo fragrance called Pure's Nomads. Maybe they're saw the popularity of what was that fragrance called? Louis Vuitton. I might have to Google it here. It was like Nomad. My mind is blanking. Why? I should remember this. Nomad. Ombre Nomad. That was the one by Louis Vuitton. So maybe they think that's a popular term, a popular name. I'm not. It's funny to see how trends get made like that. So, and everybody jumps on bandwagons. So Memoir, I'm sure it's good. It's a supposed to be a high end, like citrus and leather. I'm sure it's pretty good. Sometimes Memo's iffy. Some people don't like their blending. We know that some people out there think that they're synthetic or somewhat synthetic, but they're not bad at all. So, any other new fragrances? I'm I'm not seeing anything else that pops out to me, but I have a few others to look at here. So, scent of the day is it Derek Pour I'm not familiar with that one, Fritz. What's it like? Is it any good? Benny the Butcher, what's up? I'm the Butcher. I'm not sure where that came from. Tell me why I'm the Butcher. But how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I'm not sure where that came from, but hey, if it's meant in a good way, maybe that's a good thing. Cyanoxide. I could make a really bad Fallout joke. I don't think I should do it, but if you know Fallout, there's a really bad joke regarding that like calling somebody a butcher. Cyanoxide says, I'd like to try Kenzo Sport Extreme. Yeah, let me know how it goes. There are some good Kenzos out there. Some of them they're not bad, but they're not the best. But Kenzo's really underrepresented, and they make some pretty decent fragrances, especially when you can get them on discounters. Pretty underrated. Again, Kenzo Jungle is pretty darn good, especially if you're into those '90s vibes, early 2000s. Like it's a heavy musk fragrance. That's what it's mostly about, and like a tea vibe and some animalics. That's what it's about. But it's good. I like it. Johan Rivera says, "Scent of the day is Reflection Man. Too damn humid for me to think too much on it. Yeah, when it's hot, you just want to go for a simple fragrance, nothing too complex, nothing that's going to get too loud or too sweet. At least that's usually the way the go. And Reflection Man is nice. Reflection Man's good. You can't go wrong with that one. And it's going to have you smelling clean too, which when you get hot and sweaty, and smells start coming out of your clothes or all kinds of things. It's good to smell a little bit extra clean. Fritz the Cat says, I like Memo. My wife wears Marfa, and Winter Palace is sublime. Yeah, Winter Palace is great. And it's very unisex, too. Yeah, Winter Palace is one of the stronger, fresh, clean fragrances that I've smelled in a while. Johan Riviere says, Benny the Butcher is pretty good. Oh, he's a rapper. I'll have to catch up on that scene. Again, nothing against the rappers. I like all kinds of music, and I listen to all kinds of stuff. But I usually go for my three biggest genres. I usually stick to is like symphonic rock, stuff like Nightwish. Some people say symphonic metal. So it's got like an orchestra. It's got other instruments mixed in with rock, and there's lots of vocals. I also like Celtic folk, like people singing in a traditional style with Celtic influence. Got some Irish heritage. What else? And I like vocal trance sometimes if I'm in the mood. So people singing, but also with some like it's its own unique style. Russian hard bass is also pretty fun, but I don't listen to that all the time. But Russian hard bass is when you like want to annoy people and if you want to party, and it's really funny. People around here don't know what it is, and it's an experience. I got Halloween Man X and Bulgari Negroli Wood recently. Both were really good. Yeah, Halloween Man X. I don't know if it's as cheap as it used to be before, the world's gone crazy and turned upside down. But, you used to be able to get Halloween Man X for like $25. And that has like the best coffee note for the money. And, you have to almost go for a niche fragrance to get that kind of coffee note out of the fragrance. And then in the background, it has this really mass appealing DNA. Surprisingly good. Fritz says Derek is a vintage fragrance, warm amber and patchouli. Sounds nice. I might have to look into it. If it's discontinued and too expensive, I'm not. I usually don't want to fork out all that money, but I'll see what I can do. Sung Om on the way. I've heard that isn't that cheapy one that's like that lavenderish bottle. That's a clean fragrance. I've heard good things. Ronald says evening. Good evening, Ronald. Scent of the day is Guerlain Pour Homme EDP. That has that mojito note, but that one goes a little bit deeper on the woods and the green notes. That's a good fragrance. That's a good one. Really underrated. It did get a little bit of love, and people were scared. They thought it was going to be discontinued, and I thought that. And then they brought it back, but they put it in that. I don't know. It has this certain look in this bottle. They rebottled it. I don't know. Maybe the older bottles were hard to get or more expensive, and they started putting a lot of their more regular fragrances in those bottles. Not a terrible thing, but it is nice when you have a fragrance with its own unique bottle to itself or to its own. See here. Ultra Supra says, "Hey Ben, great to see you. I'm all mass appealing today with Gucci Guilty Black. I hope that's working well for you. I see lots of people getting compliments. I see some of the younger guys who talk lots about compliments and being attractive, and that seems to work. And some ladies seem to really like that one out there. It does have a certain unique sensuality about it. For me, it was really dry. It was almost like powdery dry, and it might not be my style. I'm funny. It's not a bad fragrance at all, and it is. I guess you could say it's clean in its own way, but it was dry. I guess I go for more like rich and smoky kind of fragrances, but it surprisingly is attractive. Surprisingly so, and almost it's not the same that amber and how dry that fragrance comes off. It's not the same as violet, like something like Dior Fahrenheit, but it doesn't smell like it at all. I'm not saying that. It just that gives you a similar sensual effect. It's you got to test it to understand what I'm talking about. So, Johan Riviera says symphonic rock and metal is the kind of stuff they use in Japanese RPGs. Yeah. Oh yeah, some of them. Yeah. There's a band called was the band? It's called Gact, and there's a fragrance called Redemption. I think it was. I'm not a big Final Fantasy person, but actually, I've only beat one game when I was a kid, so I'm not. Please don't lump me in there. But Final Fantasy is cool. But anyways, I couldn't tell you the characters and the names or anything. Anyways, there's a good song to one of them. I don't even know which game it comes from. But yeah, there's some songs from Dragon's Dogma, and it's surprisingly, yeah. And I don't know if y'all saw my "Scent Your Crush." I tried to start that tag, but I guess that's a style that I like. Yeah, sometimes too, like that Japanese metal, symphonic metal. What was her name? Like Yoshi. Anyways, yeah, there's a couple singers out there. They're cool. Let's see here. Song Ohm is a real steal for its price. Very soapy classic. Yeah, I hear it's really good. I probably should get it. Let's see here. What's up, Ben? Testing out the new fragrance from a genre called Rooks. Is that how you say it? Roos. It's a perfume enhancement fragrance. So you use it for layering? Is it like a ambergris or a Isui Super or something like that kind of fragrance? Let me catch up with the comments. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Ultra Super says, which is better, Halloween Man or X? I thought the X was great, but I know that some people love all of them. I think there's one that's called Tattoo or something like that. There's another one that some people say is great as well. So I think Halloween Man has Violet Leaf, and I hate Violet. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you hate a note, I mean, it depends on what the perfumer does with the fragrance, and you might be surprised. But if you know that you don't like something, it might not just work for you. For me, Ylang Ylang and Immortelle usually ruin a fragrance for me, even if it's good, if it's composed masterfully. But I'm able to look outside my personal preferences. But I just know that even if I like all the notes, and so they sneak in some Ylang Ylang, I'm just like, that you broke it. You broke it. Why'd you break it? Anyways, Johan says, you spoke a memo. Do you have a favorite or a top three? I'm really interested in Winter Palace, Ocean Leather, and African Rose. I haven't explored the house as much as I should. I tried some of their leather ones, like the Italian leather and the French leather and all those, the African leather. Some of the earlier fragrances, I still haven't tried Ocean Leather or African Rose. Winter Palace is quite nice. If you like a very versatile, smooth fragrance, that's a citrus. It's kind of got an interesting vibe going on. It's calm and almost meditative. It's not an energetic Italian citrus. It's kind of like a calming, soothing, cool citrus, and it's nice, and it gives you that effect that it's one of those fragrances. Some people say put fragrances in the fridge. I don't do that too much. That cool you down. Winter Palace would be great, I think, for that. So, Pritz the Cat says, have you ever tried Mobosin Pour Homme? It's a very nice, warm, spicy, anise licorice type of fragrance. I've actually been tempted and almost bought that a number of times. I just haven't blind bought it. It's one of those that might get discontinued, and then I might regret it. So, yeah, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy either with you. I'm not against Final Fantasy. I'm just saying that Yeah, they actually have some good music, and some people are surprised. With We're not going to talk about anime here, but we're in regards to music. Some people who disregard, I guess, with anything, if you disregard something, you'd be surprised sometimes the things that are connected to it, like music, for example, with anime, and how good some of the music and some of the singers are. Like I think she's from Japan. Utada Hiraku. She made the songs for Kingdom Hearts, and she's super famous internationally too. She's an amazing singer, and it's you'd be surprised. And there's a couple other singers. I think what was her name, like Gardinella? Was it like Gardinella? She's awesome, and she made a song for one, and I don't even remember what it was, but she's a great singer. If y'all want to message me, I could help y'all, or I could remember all the details. So, anyways, we'll stop talking about that. Let's see here. I'm more Dragon's Age. Dragon's Dogma is great. That one's great. Persona. I need to try more of those personas. I never got deep into them. That would put me down a rabbit hole. But I love the Metro series. That was awesome for me. I was a huge Armored Core kid. Very challenging, very difficult. But I don't. This is a fragrance channel. I guess I'll brag on myself a little bit. Armored Core 3 and 4. I don't know if I did it on 3, but I definitely did it for Armored Core 4 and Nexus. I got like S rank, which is above A rank, which is like perfection on like every mission. And if you go and play those games, that's not easy. Cyanide Oxide says Ylang Ylang just smells. It can smell that way, and I just don't like what it does to a fragrance. Fritz says I really want to try Memo Italian leather. It's supposed to have a nice tomato. It does. It has a unique like a fresh, crisp tomatoey smell to it. It's quite unique. You might just like it. It's a unique, fresh smell. Ultra Supra says, "Are you a fan of Gucci Envy? Is this continued? So thinking about trying to get Dua's dupe. How you say that? Cove? What do you think? I haven't tried that Dua's dupe. Most Dua dupes, sometimes they're hit, sometimes they're missed. So I've seen some and smelled some that are good. It is expensive. I forget how expensive Gucci Envy is. I always try to recommend the original, but if it's so discontinued and so expensive and hard to get, it almost makes you want to go for somebody who it's not exactly a clone. It's almost like a resurrection of a fragrance. So yeah, it might be worth it. It might be Gucci Envy. I forget. I've tried one of those. I forget if it was Gucci Envy or Gucci V. It was the one that had the black top. I think it was the Gucci Pour Homme one. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I've tried the Gucci Envy. I'd have to double check and look up and try to refresh my memory if I've tried that one. But there's some good ones out there that's discontinued. A lot of people hail as like some of the best of the best. Johan Riviera says, I get you, man. I usually stay away from grapefruit and vetiver and patchouli. Really? You don't like those? Sometimes those work for me. I have a fragrance with notes in it, but no way are they usually used. Oh, okay. So those aren't usually things you go for. Did you tell me earlier which notes you go for usually? Anyways, oh, I did miss a comment earlier. Ronald, you said I have Halloween Man. It's a very synthetic clone of 1 million. Oh, okay? So it's like ambery and sweet. Maybe some tobacco stuck in there a little bit. Got me quite a few compliments. Yeah, the 1 million DNAs, even the clones of 1 million, they still work. It's a funny world. It's a funny world, that's for sure. Let's see here. Catch it with the comments. Love Queen Riche. I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with who that is. We won't talk too much about metal or music. We're going to scare people away here. But yeah, there's some awesome people out there, and I kind of prefer that style of music more than anything. For me personally, I've had lots of painful experiences with having to drive with people who blast pop. So that just explains something. Anyways, and Dio. Oh yeah, Dio's a classic. Pete says Ruse is a twist on eccentric O2 with the note of green apple, tart strawberry, lemon, jasmine, and Broxton solar notes, orris, vetiver, sandalwood, and white musk. Sounds nice. I might have to try that one sometime. Fritz says my wife learned to speak Japanese from watching anime, but was too old. She was told she sounds like a cartoon. Does she have a high pitched voice? If she decided to get on TikTok or something, hey, that might get her the views. Anyways, that's pretty funny. I haven't done anything like that, but I've heard of people doing that, like learning Japanese from anime and stuff. I haven't done that. Ultra Super says cyanide told me coconut note smells like using a rag. Some people don't care for coconut fragrances. Some people don't like the taste of coconut. Everybody's different. I mean, coconut for me, it can work in a fragrance, and I don't go crazy for coconut, but like curries with coconut milk and like certain desserts, like ice creams with coconut. I mean, hey, it just works. So, but I don't go seeking out coconut stuff usually. Fritz, good to see you. Gucci Envy with green juice. And okay, yeah. So I have tried Gucci Envy. Then I remember it being spicier than I thought it would be. I didn't remember people talking about the spice, and I liked it. I was surprised that it was spicier than I was expecting. Fritz the Cat says not a big fan of anime because I get tired of reading captions. Yeah, well, there's the dub and the sub, and if somebody puts it into English, a lot of dubs are really bad. I'm sure if your wife is a fan, I'm sure she's told you. I enjoy watching Gintama. I'm not too familiar with that. I'll have to look it up. I know about One Punch Man. When that came out, that was the joke and the talk of the town. So I'm familiar with that. As a kid, I loved Rurouni Kenshin, which is like a redemption samurai story almost. As a kid, I loved that, and Gundam. I love the mechs, the big machines back in the day. Dastardly, good to see you, my friend. What's poppin'? What's good? Johan says notes that I usually enjoy are boozy notes, fruity facets, rose. I'm not sure what you mean by OH, but it says I'm definitely going to check out Naomi Goodsir. You recommend? Oh yeah, there's some Naomi Goodsir has some great good stuff. You'll put me on Imperium, and I was floored. Yeah, Imperium. Is one of the more affordable fragrances from the House of Electimus. That fragrance does have some similarities to, I forget, was Imperium? I think Imperium was the one that had maybe some similarities to Aventus. Anyways, it's not the same, and it's great. It's much more affordable, and it's. I mean, it works. If there should be hyped fragrances for compliments, or just fragrances for anybody and everybody, people in the Fragcom are sleeping on Imperium. It's a winner. That's for sure. Johan says, have you tried pineapple? I love it. Might be my favorite pineapple scent of all time, but the performance is terrible. I have tried it. I did talk about it a little while. I had some back and forth because when I did my review, I talked about when I first got the sample. To me, it felt like synthetic and it needed to age a little bit. I don't know if it was from a fresh bottle and it hadn't been properly aged. The notes coming together over time. It did smell a lot better, and I did actually get myself a second sample of it, and it smells a lot better than when I don't know with that sample. I don't think it was mixed. I don't think it was somebody had ruined it or put some aroma chemical in it. I think it was just hadn't been aged, and maybe he was sending out fragrances that needed a little bit of time to settle down at some point. So yeah, but it doesn't have great performance. You're right. It is a nice one. I actually have a treat for y'all. I have Cream de Cure. I'll be trying to get a review of that one coming. I actually haven't even done my unboxing yet. But BDK's Cream de Cure, if you want a creamy pineapple, I hope that the performance is good on that one. If you want that fresh, juicy, sweet pineapple, there's just not a lot of fragrances. It's just not how the world exists. There's nothing that really lasts a really, really long time. Again, I did my review. Hopefully you saw it recently of Club de Nuit Intense. I had the EDP version. That if you want something for the price and for the money, and you do like those smoky vibes, pineapple is more on that clean, fruity side because it has pineapple and apple. But if you like the smoky element, probably the best for the money. So Fritz the Cat says Sud Pacifique banana vanilla is great coconut fragrance. It smells a bit like a Hawaiian tropic. I'll have to try it out. A lot of those Sud Pacifiques, at least in my experience, seem to be marketed more towards the ladies, and nothing wrong with that. But I do need to try some of them. I saw that there was one that had some, I forget if it was coffee. It was either coffee or chocolate or both. And I did want to try it. I don't know if y'all remember a vanille apricot or apricot vanille. I forget what order it goes in. But I talked about how that was a beautiful fragrance. It is kind of a designer level. I mean, when you go for a brand that's outside of the norm, and some people would almost view as indie, they would almost expect something strange or weird or maybe super high quality. And I was actually happy with the quality of it. But it's like a mass appealing, in my opinion, sweet girly fragrance. But it was actually really good. And I talked about how good that was. If it could be a gift or a carefree fragrance for ladies who love those fruity, sweet fragrances. I thought, I hope, I don't know how many people paid attention, but Vinny Apricot blew me away. More ladies. I wish they would know about that. Again, nothing against body mist and all that, but if more ladies knew about Vinny Apricot, I think they would ditch the the body sprays and have something much better. Let's see here. Johan says, according to my snob buddy, he said Imperium is almost 1-to-1. 2014 batch of Aventus that's vanilla heavy. Hey, that's a pretty good way to look at it. Yeah, he's pretty dead on. I do feel the vanilla part of it is exactly right, but it does feel like it's almost overtly blended. Like Imperium, you can't really pick out the notes as much as you can with Aventus. It's Imperium almost has like a musk or some kind of like silky element that kind of softens everything over, but maybe make more wearable for everybody. It's actually very unisex too. If you are a lady out there, there's some fresher ones like I've talked about. I think it's Nero by Mezzanotte, and I've talked about some other ones I felt would be very, very good for the ladies. But there are some options out there, especially for the ladies, if you do want to smell like Aventus. And of course, it's unisex too, so it smells great on the guys. Johan Riviera, what makes sense because they have their version of Baccarat Rouge 540 and Oud Silk Moon. Black Caviar is a nice one too. It's funny. Some brands again take a DNA and put their own twist on it, and it's the quality's there, even though if it's not terribly original, they still make the money. And some people might just want to say that they're a clone house. I don't know if I would say that. Black Caviar is kind of an original fragrance, but it does kind of follow trend a little bit. It almost takes something like a little bit of the DNA of something like Lamp Black, if you're familiar with that, by Bruno Fazzolari. Or it's not the same. It's quite a reach, but you could even say that Black Caviar is almost like a niche interpretation, just a few tweaks on it. Kind of like how Imperium is a couple tweaks on Aventus. Black Caviar could be said to have tweaks of like Oud for Greatness, even again Lamp Black, in my opinion. Ultra Super says it's interesting that there are so many different favorites by different people for Aventus clones. Yeah, there's a whole world of Aventus, and you can pick your poison, pick your favorite. There's lots of options out there, and the fragrance is so popular. There's again, Parfums Vintage. There's been companies that have become really popular and have been highly successful just because they, started out or just cloning Aventus. That's how big Aventus was, and even till today, people still hype and people still talk about Aventus. It's a force. It's got power, or people from comments say strength. I'm just making a joke. That if you know. Let's see here. I personally think Aventus clones aren't that close. Some are downright terrible. Armaf Club de Nuit Aventus are actually one of the best ones regarding the price, especially in the drawdown. Yeah, some aren't perfect, and some of the quality on some of them is not great. But if you're looking to save money, maybe if you're not such a picky nose, yeah, the clones will definitely get you by. That's for sure. So I like the Bond number 9. Oh yeah, the HTT, the website one. And what was it called? The Scent for Peace. Some people were saying that smelled like a bit of a Ventus as well. Yeah, I know what you're talking about there. The one that has that the yellow bottle. Says, oh, Johan says, yeah, I could see that. Black Caviar gives me, oh yeah, you could compare it to that. It's got a certain smooth smokiness. You could, yeah, it's definitely, there was a trend of those kinds of fragrances, and that's exactly what I'm trying to say, Johan. You'd think it if you didn't have too much experience in the fragrance world, and again, there's so many fragrances out there, but some of y'all who know a lot of, I mean, you've tried. Some of y'all might be able to make more connections because you've tried fragrances that I haven't had. But you can see trends, and a brand can come out with a fragrance who's actually copying trends, and if you're not aware, you might think it's terribly original or creative. And Black Caviar, I mean, that Black Caviar note is unique, but the overall smell and all that, it's not really. Ultra Super says Mercedes-Benz Select is pretty good too, but its performance isn't great. I'll have to check that one out. I've been tempted to get that Mercedes-Benz cologne, but it's been getting hard to get. I was tempted to get that. What was it? The Black Vanilla one. Some people have been hyping up in the Fradcom. So, Johan Riviera says, do you have a popular scent that you prefer? A company's take on the DNA. For me, I enjoy Baccarat Rouge 540, but I vastly enjoy Spiritino, Florentino, Tiziano, Trenzi more. Oh, so you're asking which brands should copy or make their interpretation of a fragrance, and you would want it even better or different. I'm trying to think of a fragrance. Well, this is off topic. It's not regarding that, but I wish that a company would resurrect, like Duo or Alexandra, bring back Victor and Rolf Antidote. I felt like Antidote was a great fragrance and was highly underrated, and was a strong contender. If you liked, some of those fragrances, those classics, like we talked about earlier, it's I think more people would have went gaga crazy for it if they would have known about it and tried it. It was a great fragrance. But what fragrance would I like to see a new interpretation of done in style? I'd love to see like a niche version of 1 Million, but if somebody's just putting a twist and actually changing the fragrance, actually changing the fragrance into something different, or adding a different accord and a different note. I'm trying to think of something smart. You put me on the spot. What if you took something like, I don't know, something popular like Pure Havana, or Red Tobacco by Mansara, and what if you turned it into, I don't know, into more of a cherry's popular already, but let's say more of a boozy fragrance, more of like a red wine fragrance. I mean, there's lots of things that could be done, but that's already got the elements. If you took Mansara's Red Tobacco, which everybody's crazy about, and made it like more boozy and added like this, wine kind of element to it, I think you'd have some serious juice on your hands. If you add that red satin, that velvety quality to the fragrance, not leather, but that velvety red velvet quality, you'd have something dangerous. You'd have a good one. At least I think so. That's my mind goes to those kinds of fragrances. So, let's see here. Catch up with the comments. Centerpiece for him is more like a soapy Aventus. I could see that. That's a good way. That's definitely a good explanation. Cyanoxide. Again, good to see you. Ultra Super says, I actually spent more on Aventus clones than probably a few. I wouldn't be amazed if some people out there had more Aventus clones in their collection than they had other fragrances, and that they spent more on Aventus clones than anything else. It's crazy. Ultra Super says, I just received Dua's Poseidon's Elixir remix. Is that Model 3? Is there 3 models? That sounds like a car. Model 1, Model 2, Model 3. Oh man, that's a crazy long name. I'll check it out tomorrow. Yeah, let me know if you can. Let me know. Again, I'm active on Instagram if you want to message me. Messaging me on Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me. I'd like to know more about it, but that's a crazy name. Johan Riviera says, yes, the mint and the cardamom and the antidote was used pretty nicely. I thought it was insane. Yeah, and the performance was darn good too. I put like 1 or 2 sprays of that. I actually wore it one day to college, and people gave me some looks. They're like, "What are you doing?" It was kicking. It was strong. I only put on like 2 sprays. I intentionally. Have you ever done that before? You intentionally tried to be careful with a fragrance. It's like I know this is a strong fragrance, so I intentionally went down. I intentionally put on like very little, like 2 sprays, literally 2, and I still it still was projecting and still almost choked people out, and it made a big scene. I literally opened the door, and everybody in the room pretty much immediately turned their head, and I was just like, I should have put on 1 spray. And it's again, I'm just joking around, but it's true. That's why sometimes I talk about people who are telling you to put on 15 or 20 sprays of a fragrance. Maybe you don't care about other people, or maybe you're going outside to a festival or outside party. I don't know what you're doing, but got to be careful with some of them out there. Anyways, let's see here. Johan says, have you tried layering? I've been in experimental mood. Yeah, I did a video not too long ago about layering different fragrances. I do experiment from time to time. I got to get my review of it out, but I got Montal Oud leather. I'm definitely going to be layering that with Risasi's La Yukawam. Both are like inspired by Tuscan leather, Tom Ford's Tuscan leather, of course. And gonna see what kind of magic I can do. I got other leather fragrances, and we might just have some fun with that once we get into the fall. I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see here. Yeah, Dua has some eye-popping names. Yeah, that was crazy. That sounds like the model to some kind of car, like a Hot Wheels toy or something. And I talked about not putting on too many sprays, and I lost some people. Hey, spray whatever you want. I mean, wear whatever you want, do whatever you want. I'm just telling y'all, depending on where you're going and what you're doing, everybody's got a different lifestyle. Everybody's got different culture, different situations. All I know is that I live in a place where people rarely, if ever, wear fragrances, and if they do, it's like for a date or a special occasion. And if you go somewhere wearing more than 1 or 2 sprays, especially if it's a strong fragrance, people think you're putting on a show, and people either think that you're, showing off that you're wealthy around here, or they think you're trying to seduce somebody, or they just think you're dumb. So, it depends on where you live. I'm sure in a big city, it's a whole different world. So anyways, any other questions or thoughts? I feel like we're wrapping up. Let's see if there's any other new fragrance. There's some new arm-offs. And they have a new presentation. There's the Venice Noir. I'm sure we'll see these in the future. It's got unique notes of honeysuckle, which I actually like. It looks like it'll be good, but I don't know. I don't know if this or what it is a copy of. Supposedly it's more for women. Supposedly it's for ladies, but it does have magnolia, which I like to see in fragrances, and amber and vanilla, which is always a good combo. And it has cashmere wood, which I always like to see, which is like a smooth, leathery woodiness. So I don't know what that's a copy of, but looks good. Then there's Armoff Venice, which has jasmine, rose, gardenia, raspberry. This could be a copy of Delina. I'm not really sure. Musk vetiver, sandalwood, and patchouli. That might be Delina. Let's see if there's anything else that catches our eye. There's a Studio Flame lipstick. Oh, goodness. Let's see if there's anything else that catches our eye. There's a bunch of new arm-offs. Odyssey Femme, Momento Lace, Momento Fleur. Oh, my goodness. Maybe it's just Fragrantica just uploaded a bunch of arm-offs, but there's tons of them. Craze Noir, I think that's been around for a while. There's another flanker called Craze Blue. Let's see if there's anything else. There's another new brand called Nusuk. They say I don't know if they're a clone brand, but they're throwing some oud chips in some of their fragrances. A new Latafa, Quaid Al Fusan. That was French. I know this is Arabic probably. Anyways, it's got a picture of a running horse on it. I'll have to try it. Have to see what it's about. Anyway, so there's been some Latafas that have become really popular and have hit some, some big hype. Like Rogba by Latafa. Our ATH fragrance is worth it. It looks like Armoff is on a roll. Yeah, Armoff is kicking out some new stuff, kicking out some new material, some new product, and they're doing their thing. They're thinging over there. What are your favorite new pickups? I do like my Guerlain Le Homme Ideal EDP, the smoky cherry one. I still think the performance isn't great, but I wish the performance was better, but it is very pleasant. And I've been loving my Montal Oud leather. Sorry, hopefully I didn't say tobacco earlier. That's a completely different fragrance in the red bottle. I got the Oud leather. But I've been enjoying both of those. I've been tempted to get some more fragrances, and I have some reviews of some new niche fragrances that nobody's reviewed in Fragcom. I got them coming for you, new fragrances. So Aaron Terrence Hughes are great, though. It's great, that some people have access or went for those. But that's the wonderful thing. There's so many fragrances out there that, we're all reviewing. If we all reviewed the same things, there's so much out there that would never be talked about, never known, never heard about. So I do need to explore the Aaron Terrence Hughes. I did get an Acro Discovery set. We're definitely going to talk about that in the future. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got so much. That's the thing why I was asking, like, how often do y'all want fragrance content? Because for a while, I wanted to put out a fragrance every day. And I did actually for almost a year, put out a review every single day. But it was almost too much content. For the average, I guess, person to keep up with, it was just too much content. And I'm trying to strike a good balance, but I got a lot of stuff to review. I got a lot, and I almost feel held back. And I'm so fast-paced, I almost want to burn myself out. So sometimes I have as much as 100 videos pre-recorded ready for you. It says, let me catch up. Ultra Super says, yeah, Le Homme Ideal EDP is good stuff. Try the Extreme. I think it's the best. Oh, you like the Extreme even more. I'm not too familiar with the Extreme. I'll have to look into that. Is that the one with the red cap? Anyways, I might have to try that one. So any other fragrances that have caught your eye, my friends? Again, some people ask me, like, what's the best fragrance you found this year? I haven't been buying too many samples, but Scotch Pete by Stranger's Perfume. It's not going to be for everybody, but that fragrance, that might be my best fragrance find this year. It's going to be real tough to beat something like that. I found it fairly early this year, and I don't know if anything is going to be able to, beat something like that. That fragrance is impressive. That's the kind of thing I look for. So, anyways, let's see here. Okay, I was just reading somebody's comments on a fragrance I was considered buying. So, yep. Okay, so anything else y'all want to ask me while you have me here? While you got my time and you got my attention? Anything else you'd like to see me do in the fragrance channel? Anything new or anything different? I'm here for you, my friends. Again, I'm going to start uploading or getting to the point where I have a better camera and a better setup, and y'all get to see that. I might actually try to do a little bit more editing. We're not there yet, but hopefully it'll be a little while, maybe a month or two. Again, I already have like 50 or more videos recorded. So anything new? I hope that you've had an opportunity to speak with a fragrance friend, to share your sense of the day, what you've been buying, chat, joke around with somebody else who likes fragrance. That's why I do these lives. That's why I'm here. So we can all, have a little bit of time, because, you might not have a friend or a neighbor or somebody who, talking about fragrance like this might be insane. It's it's like, who sits around and talks about fragrance? We're frag heads. We're fragrance addicts. We do. So hope that you've had some fun. But let me know if there's anything else before I go. If there's not anything else, we'll jump out of here and we'll head out. I do want to wish you all a very happy weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy life. Cook up something good. Relax and take it easy out there. Again, I do want to invite you to my Instagram where I'm very active. I do unboxings. I have all kinds of other content that I don't upload here on YouTube. Maybe I should upload that content here on YouTube and mix the two. But there's a whole different new world. If you think I do a lot of work on YouTube side of things, I got just as much, if not more, going on the Instagram scene. So check me out, Centaur Fragrance there. I'd love to see you join the community over there. I'm actually growing and doing a lot better than I had hoped. So happy Father's Day. Yes. Happy day to everybody out there. And Mother's Day as well. So I just have to say that because I never think to mention holidays. So I got to, you got to shout out or care about everybody. So happy day to everybody, including fathers, sacrifice and hard work and all the things they do. Joe, awesome. Going to check out Instagram. Please do. I'd love to see you. And please feel free to message me. I do respond. I am here for you. And I definitely am no big fragrance or YouTuber or whatever where I'm, unresponsive or untouchable. You can get a hold of me. I'm right here. Hopefully I am relatable and obtainable is not the right word. Approachable. That's the right word. Approachable. That's the word we're looking for. Okay. I'll wish you well, everybody. Again, have a good one. Again, I am here 6 p.m. Central Time. My YouTube channel, 6 p.m. Central U.S. time for my lives on Saturdays. And I go live, not lives. I upload regular content, regular videos, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So usually around anywhere from 2 to 4 or so. But, definitely keep an eye out. If you don't want to miss out, hitting the bell and all that stuff does matter. It gets you notification. At least that's what YouTube is supposed to do. I don't know if it works on my channel. So just come back. So again, one person actually told me one time that they thought I quit making fragrance YouTube videos. And that was when I was making a video every day. Imagine making a YouTube video, a fragrance review every single day. And somebody thinks that you quit fragrance reviewing. So I'm still here. I'm still going at it. So have a great weekend, Ben. Yes, make the best of it. Enjoy life. Cook up something good. Have a good time and enjoy that Father's Day. And definitely call your dad or, show some form of respect if you can, love if you can, and or whoever is your father figure, all that good stuff. And I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a good one. Peace out. And thank you for being here, a fragrance friend with me. Wish you the very best, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. And bye.